So in the spring and the fall, we have grass plants that grow up, and over the course of the fall and winter, they die back and they become this nice layer on the soil itself, covering that, protecting it for the winter time. And below that, we have we still have roots that are growing. They're sort of in a holding place, and they're sleepy in the winter time. So as the spring starts, more energy and the soil microbes and more interaction is going on around those roots. And so we start to see a little bit of greenery poke through. And if you go to look at that greenery, there's a lot of little seedlings in there. So here's roughly how a grass plant will begin to grow and emerge. This is true even later in the season, but it's really important this time of year to sort of have this sense of how it works. So the first leaf comes up and you'll see it emerge. And as that matures, it'll form a little collar. You'll be able to see it, and it'll sort of flop over. That's one mature leaf. The growth from that leaf is entirely from the roots. When you think about roots, what are roots? They're carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are energy. And so they are giving this plant energy to get started. And so another seedling comes up. So this is a 1.5 leaf stage. This little seedling is a half before it becomes mature. So that second one will mature, form its little collar, flip over, and that is a 2-leaf stage. And we get another little seedling coming up. This 2-leaf stage, the plant it's not exactly half and half, but the plant is in a transitional phase where it goes from entirely getting its energy from those roots and the other part of its energy coming from the sun and photosynthesis. So photosynthesis, I'm sure you all know, it is essentially, it reacts with, well, totally not going to talk about that. Never mind. Cut that part out. So the plant is getting energy partly from the sun and partly from the roots. So the third leaf comes up and matures, flops over. You get a little bit more seedling coming. And this 1, 2, 3 leaf stage is the first stage where the plant is getting all of its energy. It's getting more energy from the sun, and it's not using energy from the roots. And that's really when the roots themselves have the ability to grow. And that's what we want for soil. That's what we want for the health of the plant itself. But it also means that the plant is in a positive energy situation as opposed to pulling from its own reserves, using its stored energy to be able to grow. So what we will often see this time of year, so this is my cow. She's a beautiful cow. We'll make her a belted Galloway cow just for interest. So what we often see this time of year is there'll be little seedlings coming up, and folks want to put their cows out or their sheep out. I just passed some sheep the other day out on a side hill, and what they're doing is they are grazing that little leaf. And what that will do is it will set the plant back for months. It will set it back. Some data can show it can set it back. You'll produce half as much or maybe even a third as much food over the course of the season if you graze too early, too low at this time of year. So the question often is,